Hi, welcome to the Mind Matter Lifestyle. I'm Mikey Weiss, and in today's video, we're going to be discussing how to get a smaller waist. Obviously, we all want to have a smaller waist. It gives your entire physique a very pleasing aesthetic. For men, it makes your upper body look bigger. For women, it gives you that nice hourglass shape. We all like the way a small waist looks. Whenever something is promoted, like an ad or an infomercial, they're not usually saying, wow, how do you get really capped delts, or how do you get shredded triceps? It's, how do you get a smaller waist? So I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna show you 2 practical ways that you can achieve a smaller, more aesthetic looking waist. And there are really only 2 things you can do for this. Number 1, build muscle. Yes, build muscle, and I'm not talking about your waist. Your waist is really your structure. It's a combination of your structure and body fat. Sure, there is some muscle around your waist, but it's not really trainable. There's nothing you can really do for it. You can train your core, but that's not really gonna do much for your waist. In fact, if you train things like your obliques and you do that a lot, you can actually make your waist appear wider by building the muscle in your obliques. I never train my obliques, not once. There is not one thing that I do to isolate my obliques. Your obliques get work from things like squats, rows, pull downs. Your obliques get a ton of work outside of actually isolating and doing side crunches for your side walls. The reason I do not do that is because I don't want to build my waist out. I want my waist to have that nice V taper. So everything around your waist is what needs to get trained. Everything around your waist is actually trainable. Building things out like your delts, your traps, your lats, your back, your legs, your glutes. These are all going to add shape to your physique and give you that small appearing waist. Because you have to understand, waists and physiques in general, it's really an illusion. And by building the rest of your body, that illusion is going to show your waist being tinier than it really is, because your waist isn't going to change. That's why bodybuilders and athletes, they're always working on building their bodies to give that aesthetic, appealing shape. And you don't have to be a bodybuilder or competitor to do this. The same principles are going to apply for you. So focus on exercises like lat pull downs, barbell rows, squats, hip thrusters, lateral raises. These are all going to build the muscle all over the rest of your body, and that is what's going to help give you the appearance of having a very tiny waist. A huge mistake that I see people making while they're training is focusing too much on core in the attempts of trying to crunch their way to a small waist. And I'm not singling anybody out, because I used to do this. And you see this all the time. People will just go into the gym and the first thing they'll do is they'll walk right over to the ab machines or right over to a crunch machine, and they will just start going crazy on their abs and not really focusing their efforts elsewhere. And like I said, I used to do this too, and I really didn't get anywhere. And my intent in doing so was to get a smaller waist and to have my abs looking really good. This is a lot of wasted time, this is a lot of wasted effort, and where the effort is still good, this can be done more efficiently. So make sure that you're training all of your muscle groups, your traps, your arms, your legs, your back, your chest, your delts, and the more muscle that you build over the course of your lifetime, the tinier your waist is going to appear. People will often seek out anything they can do to make their waist and make their midsection appear slimmer. They'll use silly contraptions like waist trainers or waist wraps. That's a complete waste of money and doesn't do anything. They'll take supplements, which also, that's not going to do anything. That's not going to change your midsection. That's not going to change the way your waist looks. All while avoiding what actually gives you the appearance of having a smaller waist, which is losing body fat through your diet. Body fat is fat accumulation that you've put on over the course of your lifetime, and that added on to your frame is going to make your waist appear much wider than it really is. Because again, your waist is your structure, and the body fat is just added fat on top of that. And you can't just pick your waist and say, okay, I'm gonna diet and I want to lose my body fat here in my waist. It doesn't work like that. You have to lose body fat all over in order to get into that waist. It is what it is, and you're going to have to, at some point, focus on your nutrition if you want to get a smaller waist. As I've said before, you can ignore reality, but you can't ignore the consequences of ignoring reality. So entering into a calorie deficit and using caloric restriction will be necessary. And if you're currently overweight, this is where I would start, because I would prioritize your body weight and getting that down to a healthy level over any aesthetic. If you're in good or great shape already and you've been training and exercising for a while, then I would focus on building muscle for a while, giving your body enough time to build a good amount of muscle, and then I would work on entering into a calorie deficit and losing body fat to show your waistline. A lot of people do hold a majority of body fat in their midsection. Men, I mean, how often do you see guys who will have pretty built up arms or pretty built up legs, and then they have a giant belly? Women will refer to it as a pooch or love handles. These are all just semantics. This is just different ways of saying I have body fat around my midsection. And some people do genetically just have bigger structures. Some women do have wider hips. This is normal. It's normal to have whatever structure you were born with. And there isn't anything you can do to change your actual structure. So stop focusing on other people. I want you to stop looking at Instagram and comparing yourself to other fitness models or people with these really tiny waists. Start focusing on what you can control, like what I'm explaining to you, your training. You can definitely control how much muscle you build over the course of your life, and you can definitely control your weight and body fat. Also, know that having a really teeny tiny waist, that is temporary. Right now, to use myself as an example, I currently have a 28 waist. That's because I'm 2 weeks out from a bodybuilding competition. Normally, I'm about a 32 to a 33 waist. I've had to lose over 30 pounds to get my waist to look the way that it does right now, the way that it does in my thumbnails. That's not permanent. So you're going to need to have to assess where you're at and what's realistic for your goal of a smaller waist. You may need to lose 10 to 15 pounds. You may need to lose 30 to 50 pounds. I can't tell you how much you need to lose. Only you're going to be able to determine that. It really just depends on where you're at right now, how much body fat you have, how long you've been training, things like this. But if you focus on training the muscle groups outside of your core, like your arms, your traps, your back, your legs, your delts, and you work on your weight management, then you're going to be within an arm's reach of having however small of a waist you'd like to have. And that's a great place to be in, because then you have full control over your body and your aesthetics. It may sound simple, diet and training, but those really are the two main ways to achieve a smaller looking waist. It's the only way I know how, so if I find something else, I'll let you guys know. But in the meantime, this is going to get you there. Okay guys, that's it for today's video. If you found the information we've discussed here valuable, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. If you'd like to get my help personally and you'd like me to coach you, you can do so by visiting my website, themindmatterlifestyle.com. If you'd like to email me with a question or a scenario of yours, and I might answer it in an upcoming video, you can do so by emailing me. My email is listed in the description box. Please share this video with a friend or family member who can benefit from the information, and I am going to see you guys in the next video. Take care.